Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. And I am blessed and grateful this morning because I received the gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call. And I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny Tampa, Florida. And you're seeing and hearing this, so you're equally blessed as me because you received the gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call this morning. Tomorrow, it truly is a blessing because it's not promised to anybody. And we need to make the most of it when we receive that precious gift of tomorrow. The time right now in Tampa, Florida is 3:58 a.m. And the sun will rise here in beautiful Tampa, Florida at 7:22 a.m. So that means we've got 3 hours and 24 minutes until the sun comes up here in Tampa, Florida. And the sun will set tonight at 7:17 p.m. in Tampa, Florida. I checked with Google this morning, Google Weather, to find out what the high temperature is going to be and what we can expect for weather here in Tampa, Florida. And according to that, we're going to reach a high temperature today of 90 degrees, and we can expect it to be clear, sunny skies all day today. There's no rain in the forecast for Tampa Bay, Florida, the Tampa area, Florida. And then I also, last night I checked the YouTube paid channel. It's called 10 Tampa Bay. And according to that, we're going to see a high temperature today in Tampa, Florida of 89 degrees. So 1 degree cooler is what they're predicting, the high temperature. And they also had no rain in the forecast for Tampa, Florida today. So we'll see how that plays out. They did do a piece on Hurricane Imelda, and basically just describing it as it's going to eventually hit a Category 2 storm hurricane, and they just explained how it hadn't got tracked as far north as they predicted it would in some of the models. The worst case scenario of the models that I saw, it was going to it would have already reached Jacksonville, Florida. It would have been parallel with Jacksonville, Florida. And then once it passed that parallel line with Jacksonville, Florida, it was going to start tracking westward and hit Georgia and then run through the Carolinas, making landfall. That was the worst case scenario. And then a day later, that forecast had changed to where it was still tracking north. It was going to track north of Jacksonville, off to the east, and then straighten up and then arc back to the east. Well, that didn't even happen. It got as far north as about parallel with Tampa, Florida, of course, way off to the east, and it tracked farther east than they had predicted it would in the European model and the GFS model. Well, nonetheless, the news on Hurricane Imelda is great because it only impacted waves. It caused some waves to hit the beaches of Florida, and it caused some rain, and that was the most of it. There wasn't any devastation or damage done from anything from Hurricane Imelda, so that was definitely a good result. Good to hear that. I'm sitting up here at one of the pumps at the Circle K, and I just have this 1 cup of ice today. I've got it in my Thornton's cup. I've been in there already. And this morning, I went with Monster Rehab Tea and Lemonade. I still have 1 more of these in the camper. I slept in the camper last night, by the way, and I was very happy to get my room back in the camper. Blessed and grateful for that. I've got 1 more can of this in the camper, and I've got 2 wild berries. So I've got enough for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then after Friday or Saturday, I'm going to have to buy some more cans of Monster somewhere. And of course, gas prices have gone up a little bit here at this Circle K. They are now at $3.09 for the low grade, 87, so it's went up a few cents from yesterday. I didn't write down what it was yesterday. I normally do that, but I know it wasn't as high as $3.09. And I checked with Gas Buddy last night and this morning, And the Florida state average of gas for 87 grade is 305. So Tampa is, this Circle K here in Tampa, my gas station, is 4 cents higher than the state average of Florida. So that's unusual. Normally this gas station here, the Circle K, is beating the state average on Florida state average of gas. And then AAA is reporting the national, USA national price, average price of gas is $3.13. So this Circle K is beating the national average by 4 cents. I don't need to buy a whole lot of gas. I did find a cheap gas station yesterday, and I put $20 in because it was like $2.79 or $2.89. It was very cheap, so I didn't feel like I could pass up that offer. And it was one of the 7-Elevens I had visited already, or I would have done a review there. That would have been a great opportunity to do a review there. But I ended up doing a Google review at a Dollar General, another 7-Eleven, and yeah, I did an oil change yesterday. So I did a Google review of that oil change. It just occurred to me while I had this video on pause why there was a discrepancy in my points I've earned on Google, and I'm gonna put that out there now while I've got it straight in my head. Why my numbers are off. They're not off now. I realize why. There was a 20-point discrepancy there. I wrote down, I couldn't figure it out last night, so I even went as far to write down how I earned my points on Google. So when you go on and do a Google review, if you just write a short review, that's worth 20 points. If you write a longer review that has 200 characters or more, you're going to earn another 10 points for a total of 20. And then you give them a 4-star rating or a 5-star rating or a 1-star rating if you didn't care for your experience. That gives you a point. And then for each photo that you upload in relationship to the review, you get 5 points. Well, I figured all that out, and I was only supposed to earn around 70 points for those reviews. The 2 reviews I did that I remembered I did at the Valvoline and the 7-Eleven. But it was giving me 94 points from yesterday. I'm like, there's 20 points here that I couldn't remember. Then I figured out by looking at my drinks, I already had those monster drinks. I bought 2 Celsius drinks at that Dollar General, and I never got around to uploading the pictures I took. I took 4 pictures. Well, the reason I didn't upload the pictures, I figured out a way to get my uploads to my Google post to get uploaded faster. You just do the review and give them stars, and you don't upload any pictures right away. And that posts to your profile, your Google profile faster, and it posts to the company website faster. Then you go back in and you edit your review by adding the pictures in, and those pictures get uploaded faster. Whereas if you did it my original way was to post the pictures, the star rating, and the review all together. Well, sometimes that never gets uploaded, and it never gets posted, and you never get credit for it. Well, I accidentally found out that this is a quicker way to do it, and I've been doing it since then. Well, I got distracted, and I never uploaded those pictures. That's why. I need to remember to do that today, upload those pictures, so it all will get, I'll get credit for everything I did for the review of that Dollar General. I'm going to crack this can of Monster Rehab tea and lemonade while I'm thinking of it. My throat's getting kind of dry. I had an excellent night's sleep last night in the camper. So grateful to be back. The landlord's still wondering about that guy from Maine, why he just disappeared. He paid a whole week's rent to stay in that camper and didn't end up staying in there. But he that guy from Maine left a couple gifts for us. He left this in the camper I'm staying in, right outside my room. I don't know if he had anybody in mind for this, but I'm gonna keep it. When I have the opportunity, probably this evening, to speak to the guy I share the camper with. He's in the other bedroom on the far left. I'm going to ask him if it's okay if I have this, and if he's okay with me keeping it. I'm going to keep this Holy Bible that was left by the visitor from Maine, and he was kind enough to leave us a black Holy Bible. This is a white one. He left a black one for the people in the house. So that was very kind of him, and I wish him safe travels wherever he's gone on to. And I'm thankful for the Bible he left us. The 2 Bibles he left us here at the house in the camper. Something else about that review just occurred to me when I was thinking about those 2 Celsius drinks I bought at the Dollar General. My brother, we got in a discussion a while back about energy drinks and whether they're good for you or not, and I told him that I drink these, at the time I was drinking the Monster Ultras because they're 0 calorie, and that recently I had switched over to these Monster Rehabs because they're supposed to help you with hydration. Well, that's when he started telling me about these Celsius. He drinks the powdered form of Celsius where you mix it in with your water. And that from the gist I got from what I got from our conversation with my brother, he said, because I had explained to him that I was drinking the Monster for the caffeine and that it perks me up and it's low calorie. Well, I just assumed from these from him talking about Celsius drinks that they were just for to give you caffeine and give you a boost. Well, I looked at these Celsius drinks. I've looked for the powder. First of all, I've looked for the powdered form of Celsius drinks, and I've been into HEB, which is down in McAllen, Texas, and I've been to the Publix here in Florida, Tampa, Florida, and I can't find the powdered form of Celsius drinks. So next time I speak to him or text him, I need to ask him where he's found the powdered form. But nonetheless, I found the liquid form. It's already mixed, the cans, and they were at a good price for me. In my opinion, they're a good price. 2 for $4 at Dollar General. And the variety they had there was Tropical Vibe, Sparkling Orange, Sparkling Mango Passion, and Peach Vibe. And after considering those 4 flavors they had there, I bought 2 cans. I bought the Tropical Vibe and Peach Vibe. So I may or may not try those tomorrow. I may try one of them tonight, and I'll get on here and give my opinion on the flavor, whatever flavor I went with last night when I'm resting in my room in the camper. While I'm thinking of my brother, he gave me great advice on car maintenance yesterday. I didn't speak to him. It was all through text messages. I communicate just fine with him with text messages, and he's good about responding back to me in time. So, and for him, I think it's good because texting is better for him because he's busy a great deal helping out family up near where he lives. One time I was trying to reach out to him, and he was helping bale hay for a family member across the way there. So I've decided that it's best for us to mostly text back and forth. And if I really need to speak to him, I can call him, and he's good about calling me back. But when I was up there getting my oil changed, the guy alerted me that my oil was low again, which was alarming because I thought I had gotten that problem fixed. And the guy at the oil change, Valvoline Instant Oil, gave me a recommendation of some sort of flush, specific. He called it a specific thing. I got it on my bill, and he circled it. He said, "This is what we recommend." Well, I don't necessarily trust what these guys in the garages and oil changes place say about what your car needs. They might just be trying to sell you something. They try to sell me windshield wipers every time I go in there, and I had just replaced my windshield wipers, and they were trying to replace. I went up to O'Reilly's. I replaced my windshield wipers myself at O'Reilly's and went to get my oil changed 3 or 4 weeks later, and they still recommended I replace my windshield wipers even though they were new, brand new. So you just can't trust these guys in general at these oil change places and garages unless you have built a relationship with them and come to find out that you can trust them. your safe bet is to not trust any of these guys in these garages or oil change places. But anyway, I say all that to say is my brother was of great help to me yesterday in our text message exchange, talking about car maintenance and his recommendation for my car burning oil at the rate it is, and he gave me some suggestions and advice on what I can do about that, and I'm very grateful for that. I went to the Powerball website and found out that no one had hit the Powerball last night with the drawing for the 29th of September, and it looks like it's 174 million for the next drawing, which is tomorrow, the 1st of October. Can't believe it's already going to be the 1st of October tomorrow. And the winning numbers were from yesterday is 1, 3, 27, 60, 65, and a Powerball of 16, it looks like. And comparing my numbers, I've got 14, 22, 25, 37, 49, and Powerball 23. I didn't hit a single number yesterday on the drawing, so I need to today or tomorrow I need to buy another Powerball ticket. And of course I had to buy another scratch-off ticket. I bought this at the 7-Eleven I did the Google review on. This is one of the pictures I uploaded. And this, I bought, this ticket happened to be 202 from the book. So we're going to find out if 202 is a lucky number to buy from a book. If I can find my lucky wheat penny here. I found my wheat penny, so we're going to scratch it off. The winning number that I need to match from this book, from this ticket, is number 11. We'll see if I won anything. So my first number is 6, so I'm not going to win the grand prize of $500 a week for life for 25 years. And my next number that I was hoping was 11 was a 9, so I'm not going to win $10. So far this is not a good ticket. My next number is number 18, so I'm not going to win $100. Dang, 2 more numbers to reveal here. See if I win anything. My next number is a 4, so I'm not going to win a $2 prize. And a 3, so this is another dud. 202 is not a winning number from a book to buy, so I'm not going to win 20, so another losing ticket, unfortunately. I checked out my Reddit page and how my scores have changed, and my numbers have changed from yesterday morning on Reddit. I did have karma. My Reddit karma was at 937. It's went up to 940 now. So I had a net gain of 3 upvotes over the course of yesterday and through the night, in going into Tuesday morning. And then my Reddit comments, I commented on 3 different people on my Uber Eats driver subreddit. I was at 317 and now I'm at 320. And I did one post yesterday. I checked these numbers last night so I could have a better idea of why these numbers have went up. And because sometimes I post something and I forget what it was, but I know what that post was about. I had received a great offer. It was a match. That sometimes these offers come through on the Uber Eats app and they come across as a match, and you can decide if you want to try to match with that offer. And then if you hit match, then it'll possibly send it to you, or it might match it with a closer driver that is closer to the restaurant, or if it's a package delivery like a Super Saver courier delivery, whoever happens to be closer at the time and also selected match will get that offer sent to their phone. Well, I never hit match. For some reason I hesitated on this, and looking back, I'm glad I did. It was a Super Saver, a courier. It was going to be a courier trip where I was going to be going to a person's house and sending whatever they wanted sent to another person's location. And the offer was a $28.48 offer for 55 miles. Now, I initially, first I was like, oh my God, $29 offer. I'm going to take that. But then I looked at the miles and I thought better of it, because I would have had to drove back a great distance to get back probably to where I could pick up some better orders. So that was going to be like over 100-mile round trip. And I was going to be burning, in 100 miles, I would have burnt around $10 in gas, maybe a little bit less. So $18, I would have gained $18 profit from that. And then it would have taken me an hour and 20 minutes just to drive there. So, my instincts were correct on that. And based on the responses I got from that post, I took a snapshot of the offer that came through, and I covered up the person's address that it was going to picking up the order with a smiley face, because you don't want to put out somebody's address on there on a public platform. That wouldn't be appropriate. I was good about covering that up. I'm generally good about covering up people's names, phone numbers, addresses on there when I post stuff like that. I've never messed up in that regard. But I took a screenshot of that and I linked it with the Reddit comment I made. And then I posed the question on there. I wrote, I regret not taking this. Would you all take this? And I just kind of left it at that. It's been my experience on the Uber Eats subreddit that kind of content gets good responses. And I have a lot of eyeballs hit that. A lot of people viewed that. I have over 1,000 views as of last night. I didn't check it again. I didn't check my views this morning, but in just a matter of a few hours, over 1,000 people looked at it. Now, unfortunately, it didn't net me any I didn't get any positive thumbs up on that. A lot of people gave it a thumbs down, and some people gave it a thumbs up, and it netted a 0. So I have no thumbs up from that. So why they didn't respond to that like other people's posts, other people have posted similar content to that, like, would you take this? And it's given them a lot of thumbs up, but it didn't do that for me for whatever reason. But the good news is, every time you comment on there, you automatically get a thumbs up. So you're getting karma. I'm building up my karma mostly from when I comment on someone else's page. That's my understanding of it anyway, because I'm assuming that I'm getting a thumbs up, because as soon as I post a comment to somebody else's post they put on there, it gives me a little thumbs up. So I'm assuming that's a thumbs up in terms of my karma, and that's helping my karma. I'm assuming as much anyway. I was just looking my notes over because I was about to talk about my Google scores and my Uber Eats scores. I just realized I did a post on a customer that I delivered their Wingstop order. Her name was Melissa. And I'm wondering why I'm only showing one post on Reddit. I should be showing 2 posts. It should have went up to 55 and not 54. I had 53, and then I did the post about would you take this offer, and then I did a post for Melissa. She why I did her post, I get to the Wingstop, and it's been top of mind for me to always check out drink orders, especially from Wingstop, because of that conversation I had, that Reddit post I did about how that guy was frustrated that he always has to fill drinks, and he doesn't feel like he should be filling drinks at these restaurants because he doesn't work there. And I commented on his post saying, well, you're just standing there. And in my opinion, I said, I would rather help fill drinks to stay busy and I'm waiting there anyway, rather than just stand there and not do anything. Why not help, the restaurant complete your order? And then another person chimed in, commented on him that he's happy to fill the drinks at these restaurants because drinks that are sitting there for a long time that the restaurant has filled, they get watered down from the ice. And if we, as the driver, go in and fill up the drinks, the ice is fresher in there when it gets to the customer. And that all made sense to me. Well, ever since that Reddit post comment I made on him, it's been just making sure that the drinks orders are correct has been on top of mind. It generally is top of mind anyway, but anyway, I get to this wing stop yesterday for Melissa, and I'm expecting to have a Sprite and a sweet tea for my customer. Well, he has the drinks already poured, which is unusual. Normally at Wingstop, you have to do the drinks for them. You know, Wingstop doesn't do that. They make the drivers do it. Well, he, for whatever reason, maybe he was slow and he had time to do it. And so he had already poured the drinks. Well, I look at the drinks and they're both clear, like they're Sprite. You know, I said, these are both Sprite, aren't they? And he said, yeah, they're both Sprite. And I said, well, I was expecting to have a Sprite and a sweet tea, and I showed him on my phone that Melissa had ordered a Sprite and a sweet tea, because, well, that's not what I have on my end. And he showed me his ticket. He said, look, it's 2 Sprite. And I said, well, I better contact my customer to find out what she wants. And I decided that it would be best to call her, and so I would get an answer back potentially quicker, so I could get on with my delivery. And I called her and I said, hey, I'm up here at the Wingstop. I'm about to leave with your order, but there's some confusion about your drink order. Do you want 2 Sprite, or do you want a Sprite and a sweet tea? And sure enough, she wanted a Sprite and a sweet tea. So I don't know what would have caused that confusion, but it was obviously a glitch with the Uber Eats system, because everything else was correct. I had the right customer. It was Melissa. And I'm not going to say her last name. It was only an initial, but I'm not going to say her initial on here. And it was the right order. It was the right, specifically the right chicken order that she had. It was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was very specific, the right amount of dips and everything. So we had the right Melissa. And I'm glad I called her to get it all straightened out. But I decided that was going to be another thing I could engage with my community, my Uber Eats driver community on Reddit. So I know I posted that to Reddit, so I'm not sure why I'm not getting credit for 2 posts on there. Maybe it's a 24-hour thing, because some things take up to 24 hours to post on Reddit. So maybe it's in the mix, and they've not caught up with all the Reddit posts that people have put out there. I'll check it again tonight, and maybe by then I will have gotten credit for that Reddit post, hopefully. Well, I checked my Google scores, and a lot has changed from yesterday going into today. I'm still a local guide 7. I need to earn a total of 15,000 points to make a local guide 8. And in that regard, I'm making some headway. I was at 7380 yesterday morning. Now I'm at 7474. So I earned 94 points yesterday. So I need to make another 7526, if my math is right. 7,526 more points. So I'm almost at the midway point there. And my Google contributions have went up. I was at 1414, and I have 8 more, so I'm now at 1422. I uploaded 4 pictures yesterday. I'm now at 555 pictures uploaded. I did 3 reviews. So it's given me credit. It's definitely given me credit for that Dollar General review. So that's good, I guess. 214, I was at 215, now I'm at 218 reviews done for Google. And my picture views have went up a great deal. I'm showing that 42,668 views happened yesterday. I'm now at 2,336,614 views of all pictures I posted on there on Google as a local guide 7. And then I checked my Uber scores, and mostly things have stayed the same, except for those 5 metrics. My cancels stayed the same. My customer satisfaction stayed the same, and surprisingly, my on-time score stayed the same somehow. I'm at 97% customer satisfaction, so I'm keeping 97% of my customers happy. That's pretty darn good. And my cancels have improved. I was at 2%. I'm down to only 1% canceled orders. My on time stayed the same. I'm at 91%. My acceptance went down from 44% to 42%. I only accepted an average of 42% of the orders coming in yesterday. And again, for the second day in a row, all 5 metrics have improved. So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Yesterday, I asked 2 or 3 of my customers in person if they would please rank my performance in the app. I would greatly appreciate that. And the other 11 or 12 of them, I did that via text message. When I sent the picture to their door, or while I'm getting to their house, I said, hey, I would really appreciate it if you would give me some feedback on how my service was today. I love getting feedback. I would greatly appreciate that. And that paid off in these results here. I had 2 customers remark that I delivered their food to their door with great care. I was at 334 and now I'm at 336. I had 2 customers say that I was very friendly in our exchange of via text, whether it was a text message or in person. They said I was very friendly. I was at 290, now I'm at 292. I had 2 customers say that I delivered their food to their door quickly and efficiently. I was at 288, now I'm at 290. I had 2 customers say that I did a perfect handoff, 270 up to 272, and I had 3 customers say I utilized good communication. I was at 256, now I'm at 259. Three customers said I was a good communicator yesterday. All right, like I always do, I wrote down all my deliveries from yesterday. I wrote it down on a napkin this time because I was going through, I've been wasting a lot of paper that I would be better served to write letters to my aunt back in Ohio. I can go through like 3 or 4 pages wasted paper. So I'm going to start writing all these down on napkins so I'm not wasting so much paper. Yesterday's deliveries from September 29th, Monday, 2025. My first delivery of the day was I delivered from a Starbucks on State Route 60 and Mount Carmel, the intersection of State Route 60 and Mount Carmel, for Stephanie. And Stephanie's fare for that Starbucks was $2, and Stephanie decided to tip me $5. I made $7 on that delivery to Stephanie. And then my second delivery of the day was from Puerto Rico Bakery on Kingsway Road. That's the first time I've been to Puerto Rico Bakery. And that delivery was to Jessica, and Jessica's fare was $2, and Jessica tipped me $3.56 yesterday. That was the second least tip I made yesterday, and I made a total of $5.56 on that delivery. That was the second least I made on my deliveries yesterday also. And then after that delivery from Puerto Rico Bakery to Jessica, I delivered the third trip to Wingstop. And that was that order to Melissa I referred to. I did a Reddit post on, and there was some confusion with her drink. And that Wingstop is located on East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. And that fare was $2, and Melissa tipped me $6.10. So I made $8.10 on that trip. And then my fourth delivery of the day was from a Burger King on State Route 60 East for Cassandra. And Cassandra was a fare of $2. Originally, it was a fare of $2. Originally, a tip of $3.59, and I would have gotten paid $5.59 altogether. But I say it that way because for some reason Cassandra decided to raise my tip from $3.59 to $6.59. She raised $3 more. There wasn't anything strange or different about that delivery, but for whatever reason, maybe I got there faster than she anticipated, but I got more money on that delivery, and I'm happy about that. And then my 5th trip was for a delivery from Little Greek on Lithia Pinecrest Road. I believe that was the first time ever being at Little Greek too. I don't remember that name, that restaurant name. That delivery was for Catherine, and Catherine's fare was $2, and she tipped me $7 for a total of $9. And then my 6th delivery was from Chipotle Mexican Grill on Big Bend Road for Kristen. Kristen tipped me $7.59 on a fare of $2 for a total of $9.59. That was my 5th best paying trip of the day. So I had a lot of great earnings. I had $10, $10.74, $9.98, $10, $14.01. I had a lot of great trips yesterday. Can't be upset about what I earned yesterday on the Uber Eats app. And then after I left Kristen's house, dropped off that Chipotle, I went on for my 7th trip from a place called Asmore Middle Eastern Cuisine. That was my first time visiting that Middle Eastern restaurant. That is located on US Highway 301, and that was a delivery to Amy. Amy gave me a great tip of $8 on a fare of $2, so I made $10 on that trip. And then my 8th trip was to a customer named Kathy from Panera on Big Bend Road. And Kathy tipped me $6.07 on a fare of $2, so I made $8.07 on that trip. And then after Kathy's house, I went to my 9th trip from Dickey's Barbecue on Florida Road for Juan. And Juan gave me a great tip of $11.49. I believe that was my biggest tip of the day. I'm certain that it was, because I'm looking at the rest of these and they were all 8, 7, and 8. So Juan paid me $14.01. That was also my best earning delivery of the day, $14.01. So good on Juan for giving me a great tip. And then my 10th delivery was from McDonald's on Sun City Center for Nick, and Nick tipped me $3.53 on a fare of $2. So I made $5.53 on that trip to Nick's. And then I went right back to the McDonald's on Sun City Center for Lewis. And Lewis tipped me $3 on a fare of $3.09, and I was scheduled to make $6.09, but I get there and this little girl, Juan sent his little girl out to pick up the food, and she gave me an additional $7. Juan gave her $7 to hand to me. So that I ended up making $13.07 on that delivery. So that was ended up being another great earner, and that really made me happy. Sometimes they bring out money to you and it's just a few dollars, and I'm grateful to receive just a few dollars, but I was amazed that he gave me an additional $7 cash tip, and that made me very happy. And then I went on to my 12th trip of the day, and that delivery was from Wawa on South US 301 for Kyle. And Kyle's fare was $2, and Kyle tipped me $8.07. So I made $10.74 on that. It was a tip of $8.74, so I made $10.74 on that trip. And then my 13th trip was from Applebee's on Big Bend Road for Catherine, and Catherine tipped me $7.89 on a fare of $2, and I made $9.89 on that. And then my very last delivery of the day was from Glory Days Grill on Riverview, and I made a fare of $2 and a tip of $8, and so I made altogether I made $10 on that. So a great day on the Uber Eats app, and I made a lot of good money. Made good money, and I made a lot of easy trips on the Uber Eats app yesterday. Very pleased with my results for Monday. Well, I'm gonna get off here and park over at the McDonald's next door and wait on them to start serving breakfast. I've still got a few minutes until 5 a.m. and to enjoy my sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin. I'm going to get 2 of them. I'm going to get a senior coffee with 3 refills. I'm going to have 4 coffees today with cream and equal in there. And then after my breakfast, I'm going to get as many deliveries in as I can. I'm going to shoot for 15 deliveries. I didn't hit that yesterday, but it was getting dark by the time I had gotten done with that customer. The 14th delivery I did yesterday from Glory Days. While I'm thinking of that customer, she was down by the beach, Apollo Beach. So I visited an entirely new part of Tampa that I'd never been to before. My cousin that I stayed with for the family reunion keeps asking me whenever I speak to her if I've been to any beaches yet. So in a way of speaking, I've been to a beach now. I got to see the beach as I was leaving her house. You know, she lives right there near Apollo Beach. So in a way of speaking, I've been to a beach now, and I can tell my cousin when I speak to her that I've been to one. Not in the way that she refers to. She wants me to go out and walk around on the beach. And I've explained to her that I'm not a beach goer. I'm not a beach guy. I don't like to get the sand. I don't like how it feels getting sand on my feet. You know, once my feet are wet and I walk around on the beach, I don't like how that feels on my feet, you know. If I do venture out onto a beach, I'm gonna wear sandals so I can keep the sand off my feet. And that's what my experience with the beach will be. When I do go, I will go to a beach eventually. It won't be very long, I anticipate. But nonetheless, I've been to a beach now in some fashion. Which, come to think of it, I need to try to call her again. I tried calling my cousin to wish her a happy birthday. I've already wished her a happy birthday in multiple ways. I sent her a letter wishing her happy birthday. I believe I wrote that in the letter. And I text her happy birthday, and I've reached out to her on Facebook. And she's not responded in any fashion to any of those ways I've reached out to her with her happy birthday wish. So I'm going to try to call her again today, and hopefully she picks up the phone. I hope she's doing okay. I wish her well. And then anyway, after my Uber Eats deliveries tonight, I don't have much planned. I've got my laundry all caught up. I don't have any errands to run. I need to get to the bank soon because my rent is due. Technically, my rent is due on the 4th because I think I arrived here on the 3rd or 4th, so that's when naturally my rent will be due towards the end of the week. But I probably am going to visit the bank today because I want to pay my rent early for one, and I want to always pay my rent on the 1st. That's generally when I've been paying my rent lately. It's always been on the 1st. I adjusted my rent payments when I was living in McAllen, Texas. I made it so I would be paying the rent on the 1st of every month, and that's the way the landlord there preferred it too, for everybody to pay the rent on the 1st. So that's how I like it. So I'm probably going to visit my bank here if I hopefully pass by it, or I'll make a point to go to the bank today, get that out of the way early in the day today. And I also need to bring my scale in so I can start doing weigh-ins fresh tomorrow morning on October 1st. The surface in my room in the camper is carpeted, so I won't be able to weigh myself in my room. What I'm probably going to do is every morning when I go to the bathroom in the main house, I'll carry my scale back and forth from the bathroom, and that's where I'll be doing my weighing in because it's tiled. The bathroom in the main house is tiled. I could probably do that in the camper, but in the common area in the camper, but I've thought that over, and that's not a good option for me. It'd be best to do it in the bathroom in the main house, do my weigh-ins there. And I need to make sure that I'm allowing time for myself starting tomorrow, to do my walks. Most likely I'll be doing that at the end of my day. So on the way back to the camper, I need to find a place that's optimal for doing my walking, and that's something I need to figure out today, and so I can plan ahead for how I'm going to work that into my day tomorrow, because I've got 3 things I'm going to get back to doing: my fasting, which will be the easiest, because I've got a strong fasting muscle still. So that'll be the easiest thing to adjust, and my weigh-ins. Doing my weigh-ins will be easy. My hardest thing to do will be getting back on track with my walking, and working that back into my day and using my walk app. That'll be probably the hardest thing that I'll have to adjust to for the month of October, but I'm going to do it. I've got to do it. Well, I want to wish you all well and hope your week is going great so far. I'm having a fantastic week. I slept great last night, and I'm back in my room in the camper, and for that I'm very grateful and feeling blessed for that. And I want to remind you that God will answer your prayers, big and small, if you only believe in Him and pray to Him. God is good. God is great. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.